You know the vibe, nigga, really do this shit. 17, 15, Sicari set, nigga. On the low, to the float, we ain't worried about a hoe. Bring it out in the road, middle finger to the pole. Brothers tight like a rope, lay my life for my bro. Make it racks, run it up, no we never going broke. We on top, Israelites, no we never gonna stop. Prophecy, that shit hot, Yasharala, never flop. Money growing like a crop, what up heathens, like a mop. Seek the kingdom, it's a must, we sippin' wine. Take a shot, on the low, to the float, we ain't worried about a hoe. Bring it out in the road, middle finger to the pole. Brothers tight like a rope, lay my life for my bro. Make it racks, run it up, no we never going broke. We on top, Israelites, no we never gonna stop. Prophecy, that shit hot, Yasharala, never flop. Money growing like a crop, what up heathens, like a mop. Seek the kingdom, it's a must, we sippin' wine, take a shot. Heathens be bitches, they know that we with it. Scriptures be cutting, they never be missing. Follow the laws, I don't do no sinning. We never losing, you know that we winning. Mixing up doctrine, we don't do the blending. Read it verbatim, we don't do no twisting. When I was in the world, I was fucking on hella girls, and you know I was tripping. But now I'm keeping a loss, peace with the wave, I'm not talking jaws. Isaiah 60 is coming real soon, they better get ready, we making them crawl. Loving my brother, not don't fuck with y'all. Go to the mall, we having a ball. Luke 21, 24, by the sword, it say we gon' fall. Jacob, I be bringing it out. Faith in the Lord, we never get doubt. Jeremiah 16. Per the rebels, we be seeking them out. Niggas be bumming, they purple for clout. Run to the smoke like a cat to a mouse. Lift up that voice, the readers gon' shout. Talking sideways, get banged your mouth. Sakari not playing no games. Niggas be just to get fame. They talking down, niggas be lame. The way that we do it, can't do it the same. The sinner should be ashamed. You were the ones to blame. But with this edification, renewing your mind, let's off a chain. Low to the float, we ain't worried about a hoe. Bring it out in the road, middle finger to the pole. Brothers tight like a rope, lay my life for my bro. Make it racks, run it up, no we never going broke. We on top, Israelites, no we never gonna stop. Prophecy, that shit hot, Yasharala, never flop. Money growing like a crop, what up heathens, like a mop. Seek the kingdom, it's a must, we sippin' wine. Take a shot, on the low, to the float, we ain't worried about a hoe. Bring it out in the road, middle finger to the pole. Brothers tight like a rope, lay my life for my bro. Make it racks, run it up, no we never going broke. We on top, Israelites, no we never gonna stop. Prophecy, that shit hot, Yasharala, never flop. Money growing like a crop, what up heathens, like a mop. Seek the kingdom, it's a must, we sippin' wine, take a shot. Bring it on, in the road. Lay my life for my bro, making racks, run it up, no we never going broke, yeah.
Con, mic check, mic check. You hear me? Yo, Marable, you can hear me?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, bet. Con. Well, let's start by giving all glory, honor, and praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His begotten Son, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who the word English calls Jesus Christ. It wasn't he the black man. We back. Quick class today. Not really going over anything too intricate or complicated. We're gonna go over a discussion that we had last weekend with our dearly beloved brother Minister Meach. Shout out to Minister Meach, man. Y'all go follow his platform, man. Follow his platform, right? He's still our brother, and we love that brother, right? So we're gonna look at interesting part of the conversation, which is us discussing who are the strangers in the Bible, specifically the Old Testament, right? There was a lot of good edifying points and moments in that short discussion. So we're just gonna go and review it real quick, get a little bit more in detail topics and talk about it, things that we couldn't touch on in the heat of the moment, right? So let's go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna play this video, and we're gonna pick out the talking points, and hopefully through the Spirit, you guys get edified. All right, we probably gonna take this and separate the actual conversation part of it, because the beginning of it is a lesson. So I'm skipping straight to the part where he comes in and we start to discuss the strangers, and we get a little bit into salvation a little bit as well. So if you want that up and watching that without any interruptions and to the point, we're gonna have that on the channel real soon. Also, as always, follow Space City Records on all social media platforms. We got a lot of content coming out. I know we say it every week, but it takes time to actually edit and give a quality product, right? So let's go ahead and get into it.
Because they were literally strangers in the land of Egypt. They're strangers to Egypt.
Yeah, but a lot of them were born there and they lived there their whole lives. So how could they be considered a stranger if what you said is correct? If you're born somewhere else and you're not born in Israel, how would you be a stranger in that sense? It doesn't make sense. I'm going to pull up Deuteronomy 23:7 real quick.
Yeah, pull that up, Noah.
Okay.
Shalom, yo.
Shalom. Right there where it said, thou shalt not abhor the Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
Right.
So we're not now in this case. The stranger is talking about people that's not actual Egyptian. That's why I say it depends on the context of how you use stranger. When you're going into Passover, that's talking about foreigners. But when you're talking stranger in 23 and 7, we are strangers to the Egyptians, and we're not part of that nation.
Here's my question though. Who was this said to? Who was Moses speaking to? Was he speaking to the people he had brought? Right, but they had just came out of Egypt, right?
Yeah.
And everybody that he brought out lived in Egypt their whole lives, right? They were born there and raised there, right?
Yeah.
So how are they strangers to Egypt? Wouldn't they technically be considered Egyptian? They wouldn't be called strangers to Egypt. They would be called strangers to Israel because they're just about to come into the land, right?
No, they're just strangers because in this context, they're strangers to the Egyptians. As in, like now the case that you're using, a stranger is somebody that's not the same as the group of people. That is the context for this verse right here. But if you're going Passover, that's talking about a foreigner.
Okay. What's the difference in wording? Because if that's true, then there should be a difference in wording. Because words, they do have semantic range, but they're usually used in certain ways. So what's the Hebrew word for stranger here?
Type it in. Pull it up, Dawo.
It's guard.
It's guard, the same as in Passover.
Okay, so let's tackle that real quick, right? So the brother's point is mainly, because Israelites lived in Egypt for 400 years, they wouldn't be considered strangers to that land because they lived there for so long, right? But that's why, and the brother uses the wordage and the different words to make his point. But one thing we always have to remember is that context will always supersede etymology. It will always supersede the actual wording. That's why, the powerful officer Oz Gadar, he starts to talk about the context of Deuteronomy chapter 23 and later Exodus 12, right? So in relations to why we are strangers or were strangers to the land of Egypt is because that's not the land that the Most High gave to us as a possession. Remember, get Genesis 13 and 15 for me, Baba Cashapp. And I'll pull it up on my screen.
This is Genesis 13 and verse 15.
Let me get it. Hold on. Make sure it's visible on the screen. Con, go ahead.
This is Genesis 13 and verse 15.
Well,
For
start.
all
Salaki, start from verse 14.
Genesis 13 and verse 14. This is 14. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thy eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward.
Mm-hmm.
For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
And so the Most High is telling Abram, who at the time his name wasn't changed, he's saying, I will give this land to you and your seed forever. Our land isn't in the land of Israel. Our land isn't in the land of Egypt. Our land is in the land of Israel. That's why whenever we went into Egypt, we were strangers in that land because we were foreigners. Matter of fact, let me get this in the NLT. I like what NLT say. Watch this. Remember, you can read verse 15 for me in NLT.
I can see it.
Go ahead.
This is Genesis 13 and 15. I am giving all this land as far as you can see to you and your descendants as a permanent possession.
So a permanent possession. Our land is our possession. That is where we are from. So anytime that we are outside of that land, we become sojourners, we become foreigners, we become strangers. That's why when you go to Deuteronomy 23, we can't abhor an Egyptian because the Egyptians took us in. Right? Give me Genesis 48 and 21. Let's hammer this in a little bit more. Give me that in the KJV.
This is Genesis 48, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel said unto Joseph, behold, I die, but God shall be with you and bring you again unto the land of your fathers.
You see? Bring you again unto the land of your fathers. We were never meant to be permanent residents of Egypt. We were always strangers. We was always just supposed to be there temporarily. Right? Give me Genesis 50 and 24.
This is Genesis 50 and verse 24. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.
So when you look at the Bible contextually, not putting yourself, as an Egyptian goes. No, contextually, according to the Bible, we were strangers in Egypt. Why? Because we was always prophesied and destined to go back to the land that the Most High swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We was always destined for that. Right? Give me Genesis 43 and 32. Right? Because one thing that the Egyptians, they never saw us as their kin. They never saw us as someone that wasn't a stranger. That's why whenever the time of Moses came, hey, what were we? We were slaves. Our children was getting killed, right? Because there was always a separation. Why? Because we were strangers in the land of Egypt, because that was not our home. It was not our land. Give me that in verse 32.
This is Genesis 43 and verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did not eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that it is abomination unto the Egyptians.
It's an abomination unto the Egyptians, right? Now, this was before we grew into a mighty nation, but it shows you that the Egyptians always saw us as abominable. They never saw us as kin. We were never permanent residents of Egypt. We were always looked at as foreigners or strangers into the land of Egypt. That is why when you go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, it's saying, hey, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. This is why. This is why the Egyptians didn't necessarily open us with open arms. Okay, you're an Egyptian now. No. But after living there generations after generations, we began to pick up their customs, their strange customs. That's why the Most High had to come and save us from Egypt. Right? Give me Jeremiah 23:7. Right? He has to save us from Egypt to do what? To bring us back to our homeland. To no more make us strangers, to no more make us foreigners, but to make us to dwell in the inhabitants and the possession that he promised to our forefather. Go ahead, give me that. Jeremiah 23:7.
Khan. This is Jeremiah 23 and verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt, right? So this is prophetic in the end times. It won't be said no more how we left the land of Egypt, how we were captives and the Lord had to save us from Egypt. But what? Keep reading.
Khan, verse 8. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
And they shall dwell in their own land. So it's making a connection with the first time salvation occurred, which is whenever the Lord brought us out of Egypt. And what happened the first time salvation occurred? Oh, we went back to our own land eventually, because we know what happened in the wilderness. But the whole purpose of us being saved from that original Egypt was to be placed back into our own land, just like the eschatological prophecy states, how after salvation we're going to be brought back into our land. If we were not strangers in Egypt, there'll be no need for us to go back to our own land. That is our home, or according to some thoughts, I guess. That should be our home. We shouldn't have to be saved and brought unto the land of our forefathers if we were no longer strangers to the land of Egypt. We should be permanent residents. The Lord should have dealt with us in Egypt. The Lord should have killed all the Egyptians, and then that we should have took over that land, according to that thought process or that ideology. All right, so let's go back to the video.
Okay, so if here it's speaking about someone who's a stranger, meaning per the flesh, why is it different over in Exodus 12?
Because it's just the context, bro. I don't see that to be like too hard to understand. The context and Deuteronomy Exodus 12 is that we're strangers to the land, because the whole point of Exodus 12 is keeping the Passover when you come into the land.
Right, but doesn't it mention land in Deuteronomy 23:7? It says you were strangers in Egypt. That's land, right?
Whose land though? It says no. Because I was strangers in his land. Who's the his?
Go back to it.
Who's the his land right there?
Okay, that's the people. Okay, fair enough. But you said something about context in Exodus 12. You said the context warrants that these are Israelites. What in the context of
Now, you see how it kind of gets glossed over a little bit, right? The context, whose land is that? That's the Egyptians' land. That's not the land of Israel. That's not the land that was promised to our forefathers. That is why we were strangers, because we were in another nation's land.
Exodus 12 and 43 through 48. What in that context is telling you that this stranger is an Israelite?
I want to bring up Exodus 12
Hey, and just so you know, Oz,
You going in and out. You going in and out. I can't hear you. I'm gonna let the brother get back on connection. Yakwab, if you're talking, bro, we can't hear you.
hey, can you hear me out?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, when you go into
Damn, you went out again.
You're in the matrix.
Because I want to hear what you got to say. Let the brother come back.
all right, I'm back.
Okay, say what you're saying.
Yeah, that word when you look it up in the blue letter,
Going in and out again. Are you like going away from your Wi-Fi router, like as you talk?
As soon as he's about to say, he drops off, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So, question for clarification. You said when an Israelite is considered a stranger, it's because they come into the land for certain periods of time, and then they go back to their own country.
Yes, not all of Israel is going to live in the land of Israel.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because when you look at this word right here, when it says, "There shall no stranger eat thereof," it's a different Hebrew word. Toshav. You guys might say tashav, whatever. But toshav means a resident alien. Exactly what you just said. But when you look at
resident what?
Resident alien.
AKA, that's a stranger that actually lives in the land of Israel.
No. Resident alien is more so somebody that comes and goes. They don't live in the land.
Well, he can't not live in the land if he's a resident.
exactly.
He's a resident, so that means he does live in the land.
No, it just means he partakes of the rituals, and he doesn't necessarily, like, when you just trace this word out, do a word study on it. This is how it's defined. When you do a word study on it, you see that the Toshav, why aren't the Toshav able to partake in the Passover?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Somebody pull a definition of resident, and if you look up that word in Deuteronomy, what is it, 23? It literally says
Dang, every time.
Hey, I got it pulled up on the screen.
Go ahead. Yeah. It's literally talking about in verse 12 and 43, a foreigner. Yeah, an alien, stranger. It just means somebody that is non-Israelite, but he lives in the land of Israel.
And then the
Okay, you got
Thrones even has heathendom.
On the right side. On the right side.
So let's look at this. Let's look at Tashab a little bit, right? Because the brother kind of misspoke a little bit, and we kind of get into it because there in Exodus 12 is not Tashab, it's Nakar. But let's look at Tashab though, right? Because he's trying to make the understanding that basically is just a sojourner that doesn't inhabit there. He is just someone that passes by. Well, okay, let's look at the Bible and let's see if that stranger is different from an Israelite. Okay, Maraba, give me Leviticus 25 and 39. And I'll get it on the screen.
All right, y'all ready?
Yo, shalom, powerful soldier kabad, shalom. Yeah, give me Leviticus 25, start from verse 35. Let's look at Tashab, right? Because at the end of the day, and just to jump the gun, his argument was trying to say that heathens or Gentiles or non-Israelites can conform to being Israelites when they start to serve the God of Israel. But there's a problem with that because the Bible distinguishes the two. It distinguishes an Israelite from a heathen, from a non-Israelite, based off what you can and can't do to your brother and what you can and can't do to someone of another nation, a true stranger, right? So give me Leviticus 25 and 35.
God, this is Leviticus 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxed poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve
So
him.
like 39, 39, 39.
39? All right, cool.
Yeah.
This is 25 and 39. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxeth poor and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant.
Mm-hmm.
40. But as a hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee and shall serve thee until the year of Jubilee.
So it's saying, hey, your brother, if your brother, which contextually is talking about another Israelite, because this is to the Israelites, so a brother of the Israelite is an Israelite, says, if your brother dwells with you and be waxing poor, you shall not compel him to be a bond servant, but as a hired servant. So you're paying this guy. You're paying your brother. He's not in bondage. You're paying him. He's a hired servant. Keep reading.
Con. This is verse 41.
41.
And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his father shall he return.
Shall he return? So not only is he a hired servant, but in the year of Jubilee, you gotta let him go. So that him and his children. So if he has children during the time he becomes your hired servant, you gotta let him go. You gotta let his children go. You gotta let his family go, so that he can return into the possessions of his fathers. Right? Keep reading.
Con. Verse 42. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, and they shall not be void as bondmen. That's a cut.
Yep. Keep going.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy God.
But shall fear your God. So over your brother, right? Over your brother, you shall not rule with rigor, but you shall fear God, and you shall let him depart in the year of Jubilee, him and his children and his family. Keep reading.
Con. This is verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be out of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
So wait a minute. Now the actual bondmen and bondwomen shall be of the heathen, not of your brother. You shall not compel him to be a bond servant, but the bondmen and bondmaids that you shall have shall be what? Shall be of the heathen. Keep reading.
Con. It's verse 45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, they shall be your possession.
And right there, we see a distinguishing from the children of Israel, your brother, and from the heathen. And then it goes even in depth, moreover, of the children of the stranger. Now let's look at this word stranger here. Because you remember, the brother said Toshab, which is like someone that comes and goes. Well, wait a minute. That can't be true. Because if this is somebody that just comes and goes, why is he sojourning among you? Why do they have families that are with you, which they begot in their land? So even this Toshab here, which that's why I said context supersedes etymology. There is some times where Toshab can refer to even Israelites, but the whole point here is that there's a distinguishing between the heathen being your bondsmen and your brother being a hired servant. It's a distinguishment. But here it's attributing strangers to heathens. Keep reading on.
Con. Okay. 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor.
So of the heathen and the children of the strangers, their children's and their children's shall be your possession. They shall be your bondmen. That's chattel slavery. That's chattel slavery. So there's a certain stranger, if you want to go technical, Cashapp, there's a certain stranger of for sure the heathen that you can put in chattel slavery according to the Most High God. That's a distinguishment. You can't all of a sudden change from being a heathen and get out of this. It doesn't work like that. But that was just Cashapp, because the brother mentioned that, so we wanted to read up on that. Let's get back.
The BDB. Can you go to the scripture reference at the bottom and hit the verse we're on?
It's right here.
Well, scroll down to the bottom of it. Oh, it's right there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Foreigner 2. Yeah. So this is a foreigner. Is this an Israelite?
No, because they can't eat of the Passover.
Okay.
And it's not even saying foreigner. That's why I said it literally stated that he was a. So it's that actually lives in Israel.
And this word is literally being attributed to heathendom.
Exactly.
Do you believe that Israelites can be heathens?
Yeah, they don't keep the law. They can be like.
They can be called heathens, but they can't literally be the other nations. They can be heathen like.
Can this word apply to Israelites that are heathens?
Nakar?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
No.
Is this Necha or Toshapp? No. Okay, this is Necha. Okay. No.
Unless I don't know every time it's using it unless you can show me where it's referred to as Israelite.
Okay, I'm asking if this word is being more so applied as a verb, a way of life, of how somebody conducts their life, versus being used as someone who's not an Israelite and who worships other gods.
No, I would say every time I see Nakar, that's talking about a bloodline like heathen. That's why I say heathen.
It literally says heathendom.
Heathendom. Like that's talking about an actual physical descendants of a heathen.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to get clarification. That's all.
Yeah, that's why if you could show like where it's used for another like for an actual Israelite, then I would have to concede to that point. But I've never seen it.
Okay. But since we looking at words, so this is the word. So yeah, let's dive into that a little bit, right? Let's dive into the difference of Nakar and Gar, because we kind of glossed over it in the video, but that's a very important point to understand. Kabai, give me Exodus 12, Baba Cashapp.
Exodus 12 and 43.
Yeah.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12. So
hold on, let me pull it up.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 43. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof.
There shall no stranger eat thereof. Let's look at this stranger, right? Because this is where we at in the video. Boom. Nakar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And as we pointed out in the video, when you look at it, it's literally means heathendom.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, here is literally being attributed to the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, keep reading down.
Let's see. Verse 44. But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 46. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. So all the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will
keep going, because there's another stranger. Keep reading.
And will keep the Passover of the Lord. Let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof.
So here, and as we explained to the brother, you got one stranger here in the car in verse 43. But let's look at this word for stranger here in verse 48.
All right.
I might have passed it. I'll tell you, boy, when this screen is zoomed in, man, there it is. Boom. Gar. H1616. Let's see what this is. All right. It's just a sojourner or a temporary inhabitant. A foreigner. This a guest.
This word you could say is kind of like the equivalent of goyim. It just means it's just a neutral term. It can be applied to anybody almost.
Yeah. So gar or ger, right? It can be applied. It's not mutually exclusive. But nakar is only attributed to heathens. Only. That's why the brother Oz was explaining to him that contextually you have two different strangers here. Let's go somewhere else where there's two different strangers. Merrill, give me Deuteronomy 14 and 21. And then Kabad, give me Deuteronomy 23 and 19. Let me get the Deuteronomy 14 first.
God, this is Deuteronomy 14, verse 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gate, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seeth a kid in his mother's milk.
So let's look at this sentence here, right? So first of all, it's saying you shall not eat anything that dies of itself. Again, it's putting a distinction from the children of Israel versus the heathen, aka here the stranger. But it says, but you shall give it unto the stranger that is within your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it unto an alien. So let's look at this words for stranger and alien. Oh, wow, it's gar. But we know contextually this stranger is not an Israelite. How? Because in the same verse, it says, you shall not eat of it, talking about an Israelite, anything that dies of itself, but you shall give it unto a stranger. If gar is mutually exclusive and only for Israelites, this sentence makes no sense. You Israelite shall not eat it, but you can give it to another Israelite to eat it. It makes no sense. But wait, if you keep going down, the alien is Nakardo. So you have two instances where both strangers and aliens in this context is referring to heathens, which shows you what? Gar is not mutually exclusive. The Bible can use this interchangeably. That's why you have to look at the context. That's why we started off saying the context of us being strangers in Egypt was that Egypt was never our land. That's why the context of Exodus 12, talking about the Passover, is talking about who can eat at the Passover. Kabal, what you holding? You holding that Deuteronomy 23?
Yeah, Khan, I'm 23 and 19.
Let me get that right. Just showcasing Nakar and Gar and how these can be interchangeable, but not Gar, not Nakar. So yeah, give me Deuteronomy 23:19. Go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, and verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury.
Now hold on. Let's look at usury, because some people might not know what that means.
Okay.
Right, usury. just interest. To oppress with interest on a loan, right? Lend upon usury. That's it. That's all usury is. It's just hey, I give you $10, you owe me 12. I want my 10 back plus $2. That $2, that's that interest right there. All right, keep reading.
It says, to a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thy hand to in the land. So settest thine hand to in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
So here it is again. You have a difference between the children of Israel and a stranger. Let's look at see what the stranger is. Oh wow, it's Nakar. It's Nakar. It's putting a difference between the children of Israel and the heathen. Right? So to the children of Israel, you can't use usury. You can't charge them interest for anything. But unto the stranger, a non-Israelite, you can use usury on. And literally in the same verse, but unto your brother, you shall not lend usury upon. Right? These are all the different ways how we know whenever you go to Exodus 12, okay, there's a differentiation between the stranger that can't eat at the Passover and then the stranger that must be circumcised. Let's get one more. Who got anybody got Leviticus 25? If not, somebody give me Leviticus 25 and 35.
Yeah, kind of there.
Con. Let's look at this one.
This is the. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger or sojourner, that he may live with thee.
Keep going.
Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. Thou shalt not.
Yeah, that's it right there. But that's two precepts showing how you cannot use usury on your brother. But wait, let's look at this stranger. Because remember, in Deuteronomy 23, there was a stranger there that you could use usury on, and that was Nakar. So let's look at Leviticus 25 and 35. Look at this. Wow. Gar. Gar. Which shows you what? Gar is not mutually exclusive to one set group. That's Gar. And Tashab is even here. As the brother said, right? So all that just goes to show you that whenever you look at words, yeah, you can go into the word study and I encourage brothers to do that. But sometimes, or not sometimes, the context will always supersede it. It will always supersede it. Because if Gar meant heathen, guess what? This whole thing contradicts itself. Leviticus 25 and 35 contradicts itself. It contradicts with Deuteronomy 23. So let's get back. Because the brothers did a wonderful job on the original video. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about points we didn't fully get to expound on. Right. So let's get back. That's attributed here in 43. No stranger shall eat thereof.
Right.
Then let's see. We go down here at 48.
It's a different word.
Yeah, it's that's ger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask this: in the law,
Hold on. 1 second. Where is it? There it is. Right.
Yeah.
You go here. It's the same word, and it's the same one. It's the same one used in Deuteronomy 23 and 8.
Same
right.
one.
Same one.
Yep.
Wait. Well, the whole chapter has been attributed to that.
What's the verse say? The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation. Well,
Mhm.
it's really
Talking about
is
7.
it under children? I might say I think it's 7.
It's
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's 7, but it's attributing because it's the very next verse right after that.
That's cool.
But the
So
whole
let me
point
ask
is
this.
both of these two strangers. That's how we know it's Israel. Because when you go to the verse before that, that's Nakar, heathendom. It's straight heathen.
Okay, so let me ask this. In the law, when it talks about Israel and strangers, when it mentions Israel, who is it talking about?
We would have to read the context for that, bro.
Okay, look, go to Exodus 12, I think verse 49, where it says one law for the stranger and one law for him that is homeborn. Let me pull out my Bible too.
You said verse what?
49.
I think verse 49.
49.
You want to read it?
Yeah, it's just saying in that context, it's saying there's one law for somebody that's like a Israelite that lives in the land of Israel, and then there's one law for Israelite that sojourns to Israel, temporary resident at that time for the Passover.
Well, Gad is somebody that lives there. They're a part of the nation. That's why there's laws. That's why you don't see laws for anybody else outside of the citizenship of Israel. So
What
when
you
you
mean?
look at
There's no laws in the Bible that apply to the heathen.
well, okay, think about this. If you're going to build laws for the heathen, what's the point if the heathen isn't going to keep them? That's the whole point. You're building laws for people who are going to keep them. Like in America, they don't build laws for people in Japan because they're not under that jurisdiction.
That's
So-
true. But if a person from Japan comes to America, does he have to keep the American laws?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Same thing for Israel. If a heathen comes in our land, he has to hold to the laws because these laws are our legislation. This is our government of our land. So if a heathen,
And I'll just say, man, brothers who have different thoughts and understanding, you gotta slow down when you talk, man. you gotta slow down when you talk. You gotta slow down when you talk because if you don't, you just end up double talking.
comes in our land and commits adultery, we're gonna stone him. We're gonna kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when it says, what is it, verse 49, one law to him that is homeborn. What is that, homeborn? What does that mean? Like,
That's
who is
talking
that person that's homeborn?
about Israel, born and raised in Israel.
Okay. Israelite born and raised in the land of Israel?
Yeah, he lives in Israel. He's an Israelite who lives in Israel. And then if you go into the stranger that sojourns among you part, that's talking about an Israelite that does not live in the land of Israel. He's an Israelite, but he doesn't live in Israel.
Where do you get Israelite from when it says one that is homeborn?
Because what are they homeborn to?
Okay, what is the home there? Okay, what is their home? What is he referring to?
He's talking about the land of Israel.
The land of Israel. Okay, so say a heathen is born, let's say like a pagan family just makes it into Israel. And that heathen baby is born in there.
Mm-hmm.
Would that apply to him?
He would not be able to participate in the Passover because that's what verse 43 is talking about.
Exactly.
But wait, I'm not talking about participating in the Passover. I'm speaking about this specific verse right here where it says one law to him that is homeborn. Somebody is born in Israel and they would fall under this.
I know, but that law that it's referring to is the Passover.
Exactly, which a heathen can't.
Okay, all right. So
and you see, bro, and no slight to our brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we love the brother. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good teaching moment here. We just witnessed Christians do what they always claim we do.
Yep.
Which is cherry pick scriptures.
Exactly what he did.
That's exactly what he did. The brother literally said, I'm not talking about the Passover. But wait, the whole context is about the Passover.
And then even to add on to that, verse 49 goes straight in from verse 48, which is why
exactly
it further doubles down. Look, there's one for the homeborn, and there's one for the stranger. It literally just gave that law the verse before.
Right. And then the law that is talking about specifically is being circumcised.
Oof. Gotta read.
Is talking about being circumcised. Whether or not you was born in Israel or you were not born in Israel, you must be circumcised to keep the Passover. You know, and this is why, because Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have a couple of discussions with the brother. But the whole point of this, man, is that in 2024, regardless if you are a quote unquote Hebrew Israelite, a quote unquote Christian, a quote unquote non-denominational, whatever you are, in 2024, we have to pick up the Bible and actually read it. We cannot just cherry pick scriptures. We have to actually read the context of the Bible. You have context, subtext, and super text. Meaning what? You have the context of whatever passage you're reading. So in this instance, you know, the Passover. You got a subtext, which is whenever you start going into the words and the grammar and what does this mean? But then you have super text, which is what is the overarching context of the Bible. That's what we have to get back to in 2024. We must read.
Let's say he's circumcised, but he's still considered a heathen. He's not an Israelite. Would this law apply to him?
He cannot eat of the Passover, even if he's circumcised.
Wait, if you go to verse 40, go to verse 44 and read down.
Go ahead, Shaiza.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 44. It says, "But every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then he shall eat thereof. A foreigner and hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shalt thou break the bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when the strangers shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his meals be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. For one law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you."
Okay. So when you read, and when the stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, and the verse right before it says, all the congregation of Israel shall keep it. So when it says all the congregation of Israel, what does Israel mean here? Is this northern? Is southern? Like, who is this?
It literally says the congregation of Israel, so that's everybody.
That's everybody that's an Israelite, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't matter where they are, because even when you look at the laws, it says 3 times a year shall all the males appear in Jerusalem for these 3 specific feasts. So God is already entailing captivity in there. He already knows they're going to be spread out, but they're still called children of Israel, right?
Yeah, I never said that if you're called a stranger, you're not an Israelite. It just means that you're not a resident of Israel, which was basically you're agreeing with, because you're saying, well, they're in captivity. Okay, then yeah, when they leave from their land of captivity, if they are able to sojourn into the place of Jerusalem or into Israel, they will be a stranger because they don't live there. They're still,
and that is exactly why you have verses saying when the stranger shall sojourn with you in relations to our people. That's exactly why. That's exactly why.
Israelite. I never said they wasn't Israelite. I'm confused on why you asking that.
I would think. All right, okay. I think I'll just give up with this line of questioning. No worries, y'all. No worries. Y'all can go ahead and continue with the class. I got one more question
Hey, can
before
y'all
I
hear
head
me?
out.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that the congregation because I'm confused as well. Are you trying to say the congregation involves other nations?
No, I'm not. I'm saying
Okay,
the
okay.
stranger is the other nations, the other people that come from different nations that are part of Israel, that circumcise themselves, and that are part of the nation of Israel. That's why every time you see them mentioned in the law, they're always put with the orphan and the widow, because they're the
Can
ones that usually don't have money.
can Israelites be referred to as strangers?
They can be, but not in the
And
law.
okay, give me Deuteronomy 25:5.
Yeah, I'm about to say that.
Now, we done brought out Deuteronomy 14. We done brought out Leviticus 25. We done brought out uh, uh, two scriptures in Leviticus 25. And then the brother is about to bring out another scripture in Deuteronomy. I think he's going to Deuteronomy 25. All of these verses are scriptures specifically in the law that has Israelites being listed as strangers. From Gar to Shab, but never Nakar. Nakar is only attributed to the heathens, and you see that in Exodus 12.
What?
And I got Leviticus 25 and 35.
Yeah, get that 25, 25
Leviticus
and 5
25 and
real quick.
35 is not it.
Go to
Yeah.
5.
25 and 5. It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5. It says, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger.
Okay.
Her husband.
Is it lawful for Israelite women to marry heathens?
To marry heathens?
Yeah.
In this context, no. But in other
Okay.
contexts, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so why does it
Oh,
say in the law that the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger if it's unlawful for them to marry heathens?
let's say that one more time.
Read it again.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5. If brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger.
Why does it say that Israelite woman should not marry a stranger, which is obviously referring to another Israelite?
Wait, how is that referring to another Israelite?
Because
Keep
it's
reading.
unlawful
Wait.
for
Who's okay? Who are you saying the stranger here is in this
you.
context?
Okay,
Is
you
it the
just
brother
said
of the brother that just died?
no, but you
Okay,
just
who's the
said
stranger?
it's 1 second. You just said it's unlawful for an Israelite woman to marry a heathen, correct?
No, I didn't.
You literally just said that.
I said in this context, because if you read, what is this law concerning? What is this about?
Read the scripture again,
Is
Bible
this
Christian.
is this is this levirate marriage?
The scripture speaks for itself,
Okay,
verbatim.
so if you keep reading, it says.
So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. The point that the officer Yaqua was trying to make completely went over his head. Completely. He wanted to see Israelites being referred to as strangers. In Deuteronomy 25 and 5, you have an Israelite being referred to as the stranger. Now, we understand that the Hebrew words could be a little bit different, but at that point, you're playing the game. You're playing the game because he didn't even know what that Hebrew word was until we went into it. So I'm just going to skip to a little bit. I just want to get towards more of the end of this. Yeah, we can start right here.
that's not part of the family.
Mm.
So an Israelite still can be, even if it's Zer or Ger, they can. Those are interchangeable. You can be called.
Yeah, it's not interchangeable because that's not even a good argument because they're not interchangeable words. When
So
you
do you
see how the
disagree with the
usage is,
text? You disagree with the
no,
text?
I disagree with your assertion that Zod and Gad are interchangeable. They're not.
But we're in the ESV. We're reading it verbatim.
Now, mind you, we went to multiple scriptures showcasing how Ger for sure is interchangeable, for sure. And I bet if we took the time and looked at Zer, it'd be interchangeable too.
verbatim.
I understand you're reading it verbatim, but you made a claim that Zod and Gad are interchangeable. They are not. They are separate words because they have separate meanings.
Okay, fine. We agree to disagree. With the ESV, do you agree with the text?
So let me ask this, and then I'll hop off.
Well, I'll let you ask your question, but first we ask the question: do you agree
I didn't even
with
hear
the
anything.
text? In the ESV, do you agree with the text?
In the ESV, I mean,
Yes.
sure. I don't read ESV.
But
I mean, it looks fine. It literally just says family or outside of the family to a stranger.
Okay, so what does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean? It's talking about levirate marriage.
So
I already
can a
explained.
stranger be an Israelite that's outside of the family? Yes or no?
In this context, I don't think it's pointing to that.
Well, I asked you a question.
You can't.
So you're saying
in this
no.
context, because you're asking me about every single usage. We're not looking at every usage. We're looking at this text right here. So in this text, no.
Okay, so you disagree with the text?
No, I don't. I disagree with your assumption of what the text is saying.
Oh, just to get clarification. So, Mr. Meach, you're saying in Deuteronomy 25, this is saying that a woman can't marry a heathen? In your understanding, I'm saying, what do you say that is?
It doesn't necessarily specify heathen or not. All it's saying is if the brother of the dead brother lives with the family, he is supposed to be taking up levirate marriage. He's supposed to be marrying the wife and raising up seed unto his dead brother. That's all it's saying. It's not even really telling you if this is
going to the brown.
Look, my argument is not even with Zod. You would have to go and look at other usages. I'm talking about Gad.
I'm just gonna cut you guys. You go into the Brown Brothers Briggs. That stranger is also used for Israelite. We can just move on. We can go to something else.
Zod? Are you talking about Zod?
Yeah, it literally says Brothers Briggs. It says to the family of another household. So that's talking about Israel. So a stranger,
and that's fine. But that's not that was not my point. I did not say every usage of the word stranger that we have in the Hebrew means somebody who is not an Israelite. I'm speaking about Gad. You guys are strawmanning my position left and right.
No, we just talking about the word how stranger is used in the Bible. Even with Gad still can be used for an Israelite. And we showed that in Exodus 12, because if that's the case, it makes no sense. The laws makes no sense. A stranger can't eat of the Passover, but then there's a stranger that can. So it's like, okay.
Right. So
what is the definition of a stranger then?
So when it says that the stranger, real quick, let me just get this off.
Here's the thing,
just real quick, because you guys are going left and right. I'm just trying to get something off.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to stop the left and right. I think we need to get more so to the root of this conversation. Is your whole understanding that basically heathens can be strangers? Is that basically to link them to salvation?
No, I was going to explain my position.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just trying to see why we're even talking. Now, remember, he said no. His position is not to link the heathens to the strangers so that they can get salvation. Talking about strangers here.
So when you look at Exodus 12 and it says, no stranger shall eat thereof, the word stranger, nechar, is someone who's a heathen, that is not a part of Israel, that does not partake in the rituals, that is not clean, that worships other gods. When you look at Gad, this is someone who is also a non-Israelite, but they have attached themselves to the Israelites, and they are a citizen, they are clean, they partake of the rituals, and they worship the God of Israel. That's my position.
So can those people, those heathens that attach themselves and worship the God of Israel, can they receive salvation?
Well, they're no longer heathens, but yes, they can.
So the whole point here is so that heathens can become strangers to receive salvation. If that's your point, like that's fine, bro. Like that's just your point. Like we ain't about to jump you because you said that's your point. That's your point.
So you believe that
and we can stop it right there. We can stop it right there, man. That's the when people bring up the strangers, right? And we're pretty much done with the video. We're gonna get about 3 more points and then we're gonna be out. But when people bring up the strangers, right, That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to link heathens with the word stranger so that they can weasel in salvation for the heathen, really salvation for the white man, right? So let's look at that. Kabai, give me Micah 4 and start from verse 1, because the brother said that when non-Israelites join themselves to Israel, when they follow the God of Israel, they become Israel now, and they can receive salvation. And that's a bold claim. So let's look and see if the scriptures agree with that, because if that is true, then that means the moment non-Israelites conform to the Most High, conform and join themselves to Israel, meaning they begin to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, that means we should not see a difference between other nations and Israelites. They should all be on the same playing field because they all should be Israel. So let's see if the Bible co-signs that.
See, Micah 4 and 1, right?
Yeah. We're gonna start from Micah 4 and 1 to get some context, and we're gonna read down to verse 10.
Heard you. It says, Micah 4 and 1.
Latter days, right? Read.
Yep. It says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
So here we're seeing non-Israelites join themselves to Israel. We're seeing non-Israelites literally conforming to the customs of Israel, serving the God of Israel. That's what we're seeing here. The exact same thing that the brother was talking about, that if they do, they can become Israel. Okay, let's read. Keep reading.
And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it.
So, well, first problem is, if everyone is now Israel, why is every man going under his own vine and his own fig tree? Why aren't they under the vine of Israel? Why aren't they under the fig tree of Israel?
That's that Romans 11 he's trying to go into.
Yeah. You already know that.
You may talk about it.
Yeah, we ain't even gonna talk about that. But you already got holes because they are supposed to be Israel now. But here you have every man, but these are the same they that are walking in the light of Zion, that are cleaving to the house of Jacob. This is the same they. They shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree. Why not the fig tree and vine of Israel? Keep reading.
For all people will walk everyone in the name of his God, and will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever.
Keep going.
In that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation, and the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever.
So now it says the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion henceforth forever. But who's the them here? Oh, the them is them that was cast far off. Them that was what? Driven out. That's not the heathen. The heathen was never cast far off out from God. The heathen was never driven out from God. The heathen never was with God to begin with. So if he was never with God to begin with, how were you driven out from him? How were you cast away from him? That's how we know contextually this is talking about Israel. But it's okay. We'll keep reading.
Even more so, it calls it a remnant. There's only one people.
And it calls it a remnant. Exactly.
You know
exactly. All right, keep reading.
Verse 8. And thou, a tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion. To thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem.
Well, wait. I thought salvation will come to those who joined themselves to Israel. This ain't talking about everybody.
Right.
This is talking about those who are halted as a remnant and was cast off and driven from God. Emphatically Israel. They are the ones who are getting that first dominion. They are the ones who are getting the kingdom of God, which is what? Salvation. Keep reading.
Now, why dost thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail.
Mm-hmm.
Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. Like a
There it
woman.
is again, O daughter of Zion. And then even going back to the verse above it, again, Israel doesn't have a king. It does. We don't have a king. Our king is up there sitting on the right hand with the Father right now. All these other nations, guess what? They have kings, they have rulers, they have people of position and power. But Israel does not right now, which further points that all of this is being attributed to the Israelites. But wait, the heathens are sitting under their own vine tree. Why are they not included? Keep going on.
Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies.
So wait a minute. According to this train of thought, if our enemies joined themselves to Israel and worship the God of Israel, they now become Israelites. That completely contradicts Micah 4:10. Completely. How is Israel going to be delivered from their enemies if their enemies can become Israel? It breaks the Bible. It literally breaks the Bible. Right. So let's see what these nations are going to be doing during this time frame while we have our dominion and our kingdom. Somebody get me Zechariah 14:16.
Right. It's the book of Zechariah. Oh, well, you want me to wait till you
Yeah.
Let me get that's a lot. Read that bad boy. Let me say.
Go ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass. It's a lot. This is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 16. It's a lot. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Mm-hmm. So these are all the people that are left, right, during that time where you have non-Israelites joining themselves to Israel, worshiping the God of Israel, right? Remember, the train of thought is those people should now be Israelites. Meaning what? They should get everything that Israel is getting because they've joined themselves to the nation and worship God. Let's see if that's true. Keep going.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up, so like that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
So if the family of Egypt go not up and come not that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Well, wait a minute. These people should be walking in the light of the Lord. And yet you have some that are still going to rebel. Keep reading.
This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
So why is there a distinction? We're in the time frame where people are cleaving unto Israel and worshiping the God of Israel. Yet the Israelites, they don't have this issue. They're keeping the laws of God. They're keeping tabernacles. They have rain. But you have non-Israelites who are bucking up against the system, and they are receiving drought and famine and plague. Keep reading. You pretty much gonna read it all out.
It's a lot. Okay. Verse 20. In that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness to the Lord, and the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar.
Now
Yet-
check this, right? We just read in Micah 4 that the house of the Lord is going to be established. Meaning what? We're going to have that temple again. And here it is, it's talking about the temple again when it says the pots in the Lord's house. Because you use those pots for those sacrifices. So now we have a temple during a time where people are joining themselves to Israel and worshiping the Lord. So let's see if every single nation outside of Israel can now be Israel, because they should be able to enjoy all of the privileges that Israel does. Like what? Like going to the house of the Lord.
Right.
Keep reading.
Yeah, like every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them and seethe therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts.
So wait. I thought that if you join yourself unto Israel and you worship the God of Israel, you become part of the nation.
Yeah, because for what they say, the reason why there won't be a Canaanite in the house of the Lord no more is because they won't be Canaanites anymore. They'll be Israelites.
Hey man, and that's what you call running. That's what you call running, man. That is what you call running. The Bible literally says the Canaanites will no longer even be in the house of the Lord, man. There will be no more Canaanite. So there is no, strangers are actually heathens that are doing heathen customs, and they don't become strangers no more when they follow the God of Israel and they keep the laws. No. And that's through the Spirit, brother, because that's the very next precept we was going to. That's literally the last precept we was going to. Go ahead and get Deuteronomy 23:3. Right? Because aside from the Canaanites not entering into the house of the Lord, there's another group of people who can't enter into the house of the Lord, nor perform sacrifices or give a sacrifices. So like, let's see who those people are. And let's see, because now, if that understanding is correct, that means Deuteronomy 23:3-6 is null and void now. You have to take all of this out. Go ahead, read.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 3. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. So, like, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever.
For what?
Forever.
No, just for a little time.
Forever.
So an Ammonite and a Moabite cannot enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. It doesn't matter if they attach themselves to Israel, worship the God of Israel. They cannot. These strangers, quote unquote, cannot now become Israelites. It can't, and it's not because of no reason. It's not because the Lord just said, I just feel like. No, He even gives you the reason in verse 4. Read verse 4.
Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when ye came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee.
To curses, man. To curses. And go ahead, skip to verse 6.
Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever.
All thy days forever. And why? It's because they did not bless the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They cursed us. And that's what a lot of our Christian brothers, man, they got to understand, is that it's nothing personal. It's just business. These nations have cursed us. These nations have done vile atrocities to us. And the Most High God is not going to let that go. If He did, He wouldn't be God, because that's not just. It's not just for people to rape, rob, and murder a whole nation for generations on generations on generations, all for God to say, you know what? you are my people now too. That's madness. That's madness, man. Any of y'all brothers got anything y'all want to add on this?
Loving the heathen does not get you into salvation.
Hey, bring that out. Bring that out, man. Bring that out.
Hey, man, it's not looking good for you, man. It's not looking good for you.
Hey man. Well, I don't have anything else. I tried to make it a short-ish class, but you know how the spirit go, man. You know how the spirit go. As always, y'all brothers follow the record label, Space City Records LLC. We have, if you was following us, we went to F3 this past summer, and we're starting to put up some vlogs and our performances up there, and just, you know, an insight of our life, man, how you can still have fun but serve God at the same time, you know. So y'all tap in with us, tap in with this page, Sicari Space City, tap in with the record label page, Space City Records, right? And as always, man, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High God. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. And I say Shalom.
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 Say love.
17-15. Sicari the set, nigga. You know the vibes, nigga. We do this shit. Ooh, don't run out of time, don't run out of time, don't run out of time. I got to get on my grind, got to make up a mind. I gotta pray, cause without God, how could I shine? Stereotype committing a crime. I know the heathen better fall in line. Better get racks up for the dollar crash, cause he always giving a sign. Promise to the Wonder Woman, yeah, she treat me right, so she always stay on my mind. Start without faith, you leading the blind. Keeping the law, don't fall with the swine. Right the bell arms and it's on my side, so Corey the set, we built to survive. Like, ooh, don't run out of time, don't run out of time, don't run out of time. I got to get on my grind, she got to make up a mind. I gotta pray, cause without God, how could I shine? Stereotype committing a crime. I know the heathen better fall in line. Better get racks up for the dollar crash, cause he always giving a sign. Promise to the Wonder Woman, yeah, she treat me right, so she always stay on my mind. Start without faith, you leading the blind. Keeping the law, don't fall with the swine. Right the bell arms and it's on my side, so Corey the set, we built to survive. Like, these niggas be talking, biblical smoker had a heathen coffin, claiming they know the Bible but be scoffing. Hearing the gospel, leave him in a coffin. Living in water just like I'm a dolphin. Preaching the word could never be softened. Spinning the block, I never be parking. Reading the scripture, you know that I'm stalking. Like, do what you do, bringing it out with my brother the truth. See me with fringes a ribbon of blue. Stepping no heat is really nothing new. Niggas be tripping, I'm tying my shoe. Scriptures be cooking like they in stew. Catch me at camp, Sicari the crew. Beating the case, nobody could sue. Like, do. My brother in danger, you know I'ma shoot. John 15:13, the truth. Later my life, I know he would too. See me be tough, it's stuck like some glue. Glue in the sister, she my laboo. Better repent before it's too late. Cause if you don't, you could be doomed. Like, don't run out of time, don't run out of time, don't run out of time. I got to get on my grind, she got to make up a mind. I gotta pray, cause without God, how could I shine? Stereotype committing a crime. I know the heathen better fall in line. Better get racks up for the dollar crash, cause he always giving a sign. Promise to the Wonder Woman, yeah, she treat me right, so she always stay on my mind. Start without faith, you leading the blind. Keeping the law, don't fall with the swine. Right the bell arms and it's on my side, so Corey the set, we built to survive. Like,
these niggas be tripping. Watching Sicari camp, but ain't listening. Trying to get the laws down, that's the mission. Trying to stop everybody from they sinning. Like, spiritual battle. Baba got hands like it's Canelo. Leave your brain looking like Jello. Precept slapping you by saying hell no, hell no, hell no. Message to you, you better get right before the time is through, or your Hawashah will come through, have you looking like missile food. Trust me, shit is real. I'm tired of my people out here getting killed. All y'all heels gonna get drilled. Esau, you going in the grill. Believe that. Spitting these facts while putting Space City on the map. Got these haters all on our back, but with God we can handle that. Handle that. Trust and believe. Time is almost up for us to leave. Keep your faith and just believe. Work and faith is all you need.
ooh, don't run out of time, don't run out of time, don't run out of time. I got to get on my grind, she got to make up a mind. I gotta pray, cause without God, how could I shine? Stereotype committing a crime. I know the heat and better fall in line. Better get racks up for the dollar crash, cause he always giving a sign. Proverbs 31 woman, yes, she treat me right, so she always stay on my mind. Start without fit, you leading the blind. Keeping the law, don't fuck with the swine. Right the bare arms and it's on my side, so corridor set, we built to survive. Like, ooh, don't run out of time.